Hi, this is Sarah Mikesell with the Pig Site, and today we're here with Dr. Dusty Oedekoven. He is the Chief Veterinarian at the National Pork Board. Thanks for being with us today, Dusty.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. Good to be here.
And despite the fact that we're here talking about pigs, we want to talk a little bit about the new case of New World Screwworm. Tell us what you know.
Yeah, well, first of all, you're right. We're enjoying our time here at the World Pork Expo. There's so many farmers and other industry stakeholders here, and so it's just been a lot of fun to see everyone and get together. And unfortunately, these are sometimes when we find bad news. In this case, the finding of New World Screwworm that's been identified in some cattle in southern Texas. And so, while this is concerning, it's also not unexpected. USDA and producers and state animal health agencies have been preparing for this possibility for some time, and so now that it's here, a couple of reminders I think are worth noting. First of all, it's really important for animal owners of all kinds, whether livestock or pets, especially in areas where New World Screwworm has been identified, to make sure that you're observing your animals closely for signs of infestation, and that could be a wound that's not healing, or you can see a visible sign of what we call myiasis, the fly larval infection of those wounds. And so it's important to be looking at animals very closely every day. That's just part of normal good animal husbandry observation, and reporting any suspicious signs to your veterinarian. And secondly, I would say if you're planning to move animals, particularly across state lines, it's always important to consult with your veterinarian about what those requirements may be, including getting a certificate of veterinary inspection.
Because that might be changed with this new outbreak, right?
Right. It's not uncommon for states to, and I say states, but state animal health agencies to increase the requirements for inspection or other requirements related to the movement of animals into their state to try and prevent the spread of those diseases. That's really the fabric of animal disease prevention that we have in our country, which is the need to have an accredited veterinarian inspect those animals, ensure that they're free of signs of contagious infectious diseases. And in this case, New World Screwworm is not a contagious disease, but it is a parasitic disease, and we would consider it a foreign animal disease because we haven't had it in the United States for some time.
And while we're talking about, it's generally been discussed more so in the cattle industry, right? But it can impact any open wound, from what I understand. Is that right, Dusty?
Yeah, that's right. The female fly lays her eggs in open wounds and what we call mucosal membranes, and so that can be in any warm-blooded animal. In fact, one of the last infestations in the United States was in 2016 and 17, and that was primarily in Florida, in the key deer in the Florida Keys. But it also was found in other wildlife and even pets, dogs that were infested at that time. And so, yeah, this is, while we talk about it and hear about it in cattle, and right now that case is in cattle, Mexico has reported cases in a variety of different animals. Yeah.
Very good. So let's talk about how this rolls into the National Swine Health Strategy, which is what you are talking about 24/7, I'm sure, at this show. But it is all about the health of animals, right?
Yeah, that's right. The National Swine Health Strategy is a producer-led initiative to improve swine health, and it really comes down to two goals, and that's the first goal is keep foreign and emerging diseases out. And the second one is to reduce the impact of the domestic diseases that we have. So this finding of New World Screwworm really wraps up into that keeping foreign and emerging diseases out, and is a good reminder of why we plan for the introduction of novel diseases or foreign animal diseases. And in fact, many of the things that are ongoing every day to help prepare for foreign and emerging diseases can have some applicability to preparedness for New World Screwworm.
Very good. And will this, I don't want to say change your strategy, but does this mean like there's a phone call that everybody kind of jumps on and says, okay, this is a new disease that's entered the United States, and how does it impact what we're doing as part of the swine industry, right?
Yeah, I don't see it as having a big impact on what we're doing in areas of focus right now. The fortunate thing is this is a parasitic disease. It is relatively identifiable
Right.
when it has a clinical impact. It is treatable in many cases, and it's seasonal. We see more flies, and just
Right.
in
Right.
general in the
In the
summertime, and
summer.
yeah.
Right.
And in the wintertime, this fly is very susceptible to cold temperatures, and so it doesn't do well in the cold. Of course, I live in South Dakota, so we may never
Right.
see this fly, I hope, but uh, you know, uh, it is a different type of a response than we would see with a viral disease
Right.
such as African swine fever virus. So it's really nothing to panic about. It's just more be aware,
Be
be
aware.
alert to the signs,
Right.
and report anything you might see to your veterinarian.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for all the information today, Dustin.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. Good to be.
This is Sarah Mikesell with the Pig Site.